Now, sometimes when you make a channel all about conversation and all about discussion, it can be quite hard to come up with different things every single day to talk about. So yes, I know, I've chucked in the odd video there, like the reacting to Reddit post, that is maybe a little bit different to the discussion-based topics. But today, I've discovered something that will help me make new discussions without even trying. I'm going to be on either.io or either.io, depending on what your accent is. But it's either. It's either, not either, it's either. And basically, on this website, they're going to give you two different options and you've got to pick between the two. I'm going to go through them. I'm going to pick what I would choose between these two options, and you guys can let me know in the comments down below what you'd pick. Let me know why you'd pick your option. Let's start a conversation. First up, we've got see who you will marry and see how you will die. Now, knowing how you're going to die is probably the worst possible thing I can think of. I would not want to know that, for example, I die in a car crash, because then I would just never go in a car and I'd literally get nothing done. So I can't see me wanting to know how I would die. I don't think anyone would want to know that, frankly. See who you will marry. I think that could be quite useful, because if you're in a relationship and you're like, oh, you know, I don't know, am I going to marry this person or not? Let's find out. And you find out that you're not going to marry them, you might as well finish it there and then and go and find that person that you are going to marry. And you never know. It might turn out that you're going to marry, like, someone that you never thought you were going to marry. And then you find out sooner on, you go and make connections with that person, and you end up having a much better relationship because you've had a longer lasting relationship. So I'm going to go with see who you will marry. 73% of the people that use this website agree with me. Good. So next up, it's like, who would you rather be better than? Would you rather be better than Michael Phelps, the swimmer, in his prime, or would you rather be faster than Usain Bolt in his prime? Oh, I don't know about this. I think it would probably be Usain Bolt. Even though, like, I wish I was a lot better at swimming than I actually am. I went swimming yesterday and literally felt like I was about to drown because it was just so painful. But I would have to be a better sprinter, because that can then go into so many different things. You can be a footballer, you could be a sprinter itself, you could be a rugby player. You could basically do loads of different things whilst being as fast as Usain Bolt. If you're as fast a swimmer as Michael Phelps, then you can swim really quick, and that's about it. So I'll take Usain Bolt. Imagine being able to, like, go on a run, get fit, and it takes no time. That sounds like my sort of skill. A whopping 83% of people that use the website agreed with me. Would I rather lose my preferred hand or lose my preferred foot? This is a bit of a weird one. Like, to me, I assume that this question is saying that will just be gone. You'll be an amputee. So it's not that you just lose the ability you've got in your preferred hand or foot. It's not like you suddenly become rubbish at writing. It's you lose that limb. So what I'm going to say is I'd prefer to lose my preferred foot. I don't know, actually. It's quite hard because I was thinking hands you use for a lot of things. Like, day-to-day life is all in your hands. You use your hands for basically everything. But then you walk on your feet. So I've completely, like, baffled myself here. I'm going to say I'll go with lose your preferred foot, because I feel like hands are more valuable than feet, because you do more with them. This is probably the first one that's had me like, oh, I don't know what to do. The other two, I decided pretty quickly. This one, I'm not so sure. I'm going to say I would prefer to lose my foot, because you can get good prosthetic feet these days. Maybe not to the extent that I'd be able to play football and that sort of thing, but I was never that good anyway, so it doesn't matter. Preferred foot, 69% said they prefer to lose their feet. That's the closest one so far. Would you rather have to sleep 3 hours every day or have to sleep 15 hours every day? Now, if we're keeping in mind this is going to make us be able to function as a human being and I'd be absolutely fine, 3 hours. Like, I lose so many hours in the day from sleep, because I go to bed reasonably late. I go to bed at like 12 o'clock at night. I wake up at like 6:30. For me, that is too much time that I could be spent doing stuff like this, recording videos for you guys. So I would happily only sleep for 3 hours every day and still be able to function as a human being. I mean, if it's saying that the difference is you have 3 hours or you have 15 hours, I'd probably still pick 3 hours and just hope that my body kind of changes and is able to relax and work on 3 hours sleep. So I'm going to go for 3 hours. That's the closest one yet. That is a split decision, 51 to 49. Would I rather be attractive and poor or be ugly and rich? Well, I'm currently ugly and poor, so either of these would be a step up, to be frank, but I think I would probably prefer to be ugly and rich. I don't think that looks personally mean the world. I don't think that the way you look is necessarily you. I mean, ugly, it depends how ugly it is. If you look like a troll, then maybe that wouldn't be great. But then attractive, if you look like the best thing ever, could you not then use that to get money? I feel like attractiveness does help you online, in particular in like what I do in YouTube. You guys definitely watch the more attractive YouTubers than the ugly ones. That is an absolute fact. Which, if you're watching this video, you probably haven't got this far into it because I'm not one of those attractive YouTubers. But which one would I pick out of these two? I'm feeling like attractive and poor means you're really vain. Ugly and rich just means that you only think about money. So you look like a bit of a douche regardless of which one of these you pick anyway. I'm going to say be ugly and rich just because I feel like being attractive isn't just about physical looks. It's about your personality, the way you are, your humour, that sort of thing. So I feel like I'd still have something to give. Maybe a little bit. So ugly and rich. People said they'd rather be attractive than ugly and rich. That's the first time I've gone against the grain. Would I rather have no fingers or have no ears? I don't know. I don't know. Would I rather have no fingers or no ears? Well, no fingers, you lose your sense of touch. No ears, you lose your sense of sound. Now, I love music. And I love TV, film, gaming. All of which, sound is quite important. However, I'm going to use something that I learned at Bristol as a kid. I used to go there on school trips. And I remember going there and I was taught this, right? You can do this without having ears. So, you would get a straw and put it on a vibrating like rod and bite. When you bite, the vibrations make music in your head. So, I could still... Eardrums are further into the ear. They're not necessarily these big flappy bits here. So, I could use the straw vibrating biting technique to hear what I'm playing whilst I'm playing it with my fully functional fingers. That is what I'm going to go for. Let's see what people said. 32% said they preferred to have... Oh, I clicked the wrong one. I meant to click have no ears. That was what I was going for there. You guys know that. 68% of people agreed with me. Okay, so this one's going to open up a few can of worms in my personal life here. Would you rather go 1 year without your teeth or 1 year without the internet? Now, I'm going to surprise you guys here because you guys know that I love doing YouTube. I love sometimes streaming if I can find 2 minutes to myself to do it. But here is what I'm going to say to this one. I would rather go 1 year without the internet. And here is why. When I was in my early 20s to mid 20s, I had a recurring nightmare. This was when I was quite stressed, especially about work and about my relationship at the time and stuff like that. I was stressed beyond belief. And I used to have the same recurring nightmare. And in that nightmare, things would happen that I was clearly worried were going to happen anyway. And then at the end of the nightmare, in the dream still, I would lose my teeth and they'd all crumble in my mouth and I'd be able to feel them crunching inside my mouth. Now, I've looked up online on what this means and stuff, and apparently it means that you don't feel very in control with your life, which would very much show that through what was going on in my life at the time. But that feeling is disgusting when the teeth are crunching in your mouth and then they fall out, then you've got the gums and it's gross. I absolutely hate those nightmares. So I will happily go for 1 year without the internet instead, which 55% of people would do. So, you know what? I'll give up the internet. I'll give up YouTube for the year just to have my teeth. I can't stand the thought of losing them. Now, this one's going to touch a lot of phobias out there. Would you rather eat 5 spiders or be stuck in a room with dead bodies? Now, for me, there's, you know, you get the physical pain of eating 5 spiders and you kind of get it over and done with. It's like, bleh, and then you're done. There's a psychological thing that would like hit you hard with the being stuck in a room with 5 dead bodies. That's going to mess you up mentally for life. So I'm going to say eat 5 spiders. It doesn't say how big the spiders are. I'm going to assume they're like a house spider. I'll eat 5 of those as opposed to being stuck in a room with dead bodies, because that would be traumatizing for life. So I'll eat the 5 spiders. Wow. People would rather be stuck in a room with dead bodies than eat 5 spiders. I don't know whether it's because in my head, dead bodies, I had like a massacre scene in my head in this like room of dead bodies. Maybe like a morgue would be, you know, pretty easy to get over, but man, dead bodies? Would you rather be in jail for a year or live in complete isolation in the mountains for a year? I would have to go for the isolation in the mountains. I'm assuming I'm in jail for a reason. And that's not my jam. I'm not going to be doing those sort of things. I'm not going to be the one breaking any laws anytime soon. So, I'm going to say I would much rather be in the isolation of a mountain for a year. I think that'd be quite cool to do, actually. A year would probably make me go crazy. But if I could take stuff with me and, like, take books to read, take maybe my guitar with me, I'd probably come back with a fully fledged album, sell it and make millions. All I gotta do is put myself in isolation in a wooden cabin in the mountains for a year. So yeah, 68% of people would do that as well. I don't think anyone wants to go to jail. Would you rather talk a little bit too loudly or talk a little bit too softly? There's your ASMR for the day, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know what I would rather do here. Talk a little bit too loudly, that would be really annoying, because like you're trying to have a conversation, like a serious conversation. Maybe you're at work and you're talking to a colleague about someone else and you don't want them to hear it. Yeah, you know Sandra, she was weeing behind the bins again. You don't want to be doing that, going, hey, you know Sandra, she was weeing behind the bins again. That's not going to go down well at all. So I'm going to say talk a little bit too softly would probably be the one I'd go for, although I know someone who was a bit like that and they used to talk really quietly all the time and she used to quite annoy me. But at least that's annoying other people and not embarrassing yourself. So I'm going to talk a little bit too softly. 56% agree with me. The final one for today, would you rather live in the Doctor Who universe or live in the Star Wars universe? Now, I went and saw Rise of the Skywalker just the other day. I'm very much in a Star Wars-y kind of mood right now. I might have cried at the end. Let's not talk about it. But Doctor Who, I've never been a fan of Doctor Who. It's a bit like Power Rangers for me. I don't like the sort of low budget side of Doctor Who that there is, you know, where there's clearly someone in a suit or something like that. It really does like get to me sometimes. I'm not a massive fan of it. Star Wars universe, however, has got to be the one. Lightsabers, the Force, Yoda, Jar Jar Binks. I'm 100% living in the Star Wars universe, and that is 68% of people agreeing as well. So there we have it, guys. My first ever time using Either.io. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure you hit a like on this video and comment down below what your choices would have been. Also, I want to, and I've kind of thought of this on the top of my head, I want to make this into a video as well where I do some of your Eithers. So give me some would you rather blank or blank, and I'll maybe put them into a subscriber special in the future. Subscribe to this channel if you are new, and I will see you in the next one.